It's a good question. Do I already accept deck submissions with spoiler cards? So the full spoiler, I'm told, is supposed to be releasing today. So once we get a full spoiler, I will accept deck submissions with new cards in it. So usually I wait till the full picture's out so I can have a better idea if something's going to be reasonable or not. We're playing Jund here today. Jund, for those not familiar, refers to a 3-color combination of green, black, and red here. Now, historically speaking, I've not really been a fan of the red cards in this archetype. I'm a big fan of straight green-black rock. We played that at the end of last week, and I'm not really convinced that adding in the pain to the mana base that a third color adds is really worth it in terms of the power level that you gain for doing so. We're going to go ahead and play this and see how it goes. One thing worth noting is that we only have 4, 5, 6. We only have 7 pieces of graveyard hate in our 75 here, so probably going to be a little bit of a dog to the Bridgevine deck. That's fine. We'll make the best of it. There are a couple of Seasoned Pyromancers here. As for specifics on this deck list, this is just card for card a deck list that 5-0'd a Moto League, and it had a number of cards from the new set in it, so I figured we'd go ahead and load it up since it had a result and had a number of cards from the new set in it. Hey, look, it's like a green-black rock hand that needs to shock itself and then fetch shock itself and then play Dark Confidant and Thoughtseize, which is, again, like playing Bob when your mana base is dealing extra damage to you is such a big deal. Draco, thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate that. And Jay Denzet, thank you for the quarter of a year. Welcome back, folks. Hey, Acer, thanks for the 11. Almost to a sword. What's the best time to interact with the Bridgevine deck? There isn't a cut and dry answer to that question. It depends on what your interaction what your interaction is and what the rest of their cards look like, what they're doing exactly. Spell Pierce, Blue Red Land, Serum Visions, main deck Spell Pierce, huh? What does that mean? Turn 0 is the best time. That's probably true. Probably a Blue Moon deck, which is having fewer basics than Green Black Rock makes this style of matchup hard too. Can you ping me on Discord again, Iretia, just so I remember where to get the correct list from? And yeah, happy to add that in. Thanks for the tier 3. I appreciate it. Do I ever drink hot tea? No, not usually. Bobby. I draw another magmatic sinkhole. He's dead, Jim. You can tell on Moto when your opponent drew a Delve card, because there's that pause while they click on the cards out of their graveyard. Opponent has Force of Negation as their last card in hand here. I'm going to fetch basics here because my opponent's likely playing a Blood Moon deck. Deal. So if they have a Snapcaster Mage, they can snap Magmatic Sinkhole my my Tarmogoyf here. Yep. So in order to join the subscriber Discord, Nathan, you need to be using a desktop computer or you need to open the desktop version of Discord in your mobile browser. So I'm going to bolt this, and then I'm going to go ahead and trade my Overgrown Tomb for the Force of Negation here. And then we're in a pretty good spot, right? Like, I got Scavenging Ooze left over, and they've got nothing versus my Liliana. Yeah, I need to remember to not wear those striped shirts when I'm streaming. So, this gives them a window to draw Snapcaster Mage and be able to snap the Serum Visions, but I'd like to just get this out of range of Lightning Bolt right away. You want to just not plus Lily? Like, why do I care, Burgle? Like, yeah, this card, yeah, we don't have double red. And like, even if I draw a red source, it's like literally just a 2/2, right? And if I draw a red source next turn anyways, I can still exile this to make 2 1/1s. Hey, look at that. They drew us a red source. Bless up, opponent. They gave me an untapped land too. Opponent, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, opponent. Our opponent is a quality human being, making our Blackcleave Cliffs come into play untapped. Cast Lingering Souls. We need more souls, man. It doesn't. It doesn't. Oh, it does. Oh, you're super right, aren't you? It's making the elementals that you have to discard. Okay, that's good to know. I definitely didn't know the text on that card offhand. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, this card, discard 2, then draw. It's templated like Rick's Matty. And then for each non-land card, okay. So it does draw if I... Yeah, I agree. I think we're, like, solidly ahead here regardless, but that's good to know. And not only is it, like, a baby Reveler, but it can, like, make tokens that's really good, and it has an effect from your graveyard, right? Seems super, super reasonable overall. Even if double red's a little bit tough in here. I had someone add a Mardu Pyromancer variation with Yawgmoth and Seasoned Pyromancer in it. That seems pretty sweet. Do I have like 0 cards for this matchup? I think I might have close to 0 cards for this matchup. I have like a Chandra. I think it's literally just last hope for Chandra here. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, trip scavenging. I guess red's not very good. He kills their stuff too though. I'm gonna trim Scavenging Ooze. I'm gonna trim Scoos. He's hard to activate when under Blood Moon. That's fine. If we don't get punked out of the game by a Blood Moon, I think this matchup's pretty good for us. This hand fetch is 2 basic, so sign me up. Fetch Swamp, fetch Forest, play this. Nine months and still loving the content. Thanks for putting everything on YouTube because I rarely catch you live. My name is pronounced Cyrell. 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 And thanks for the 9 months, Cyrell. So, I think I just pushed this off a cliff. Let's start with Inquisition, actually. Because this can clear a Force of Negation. Ooh, that's pretty good. Alright, so I don't need to worry about Blood Moon this turn, which is nice. So I'm going to take their other thing here. I'm probably going to cash this in to stop their Serum Visions from happening. Thanks, Pickle. I appreciate the resub. I think even though I don't get to draw a card here, I want to just go ahead and deny their Snapcaster Mage casting Serum Visions. So I could play a tapped land here or a fast land, but I think I'd rather play the Wooded Foothills, so that way if they draw Red Source Blood Moon, I get to get my green mana. They give them the possibility to draw a counterspell, which I think is less than ideal, Steve. I also think just, like, the way my hand is set up, I don't need the guaranteed draw. So I don't think I need to get greedy. I think I'd rather just, like, take their threat off the table. If they don't have their threat, I'm in a pretty good spot. So in response to my Bob trigger, I'm going to fetch. Save Cryptic Command and then 2 cards I don't know. I used Jun to explain to my friend that the more expensive deck in Magic is not always better. Ain't that the truth? Do I just K-Command here in response? I think so. They're tapped off a Cryptic. It's like 2 for 1 you. There might be an argument to Fatal pushing the Snapcaster Mage and then holding the Kolaghan's command for when they inevitably kill the Dark Confidant. I could see that being a discussion worth having. I also gave them fuel to Magmatic Insight this turn. So like now I don't have a threat and they have a Cryptic Command in hand. So I'm actually in kind of a bad spot. Inquisition notably does not take Cryptic Command. Raging Ravine's a good draw. And we'll almost certainly Inquisition them next turn before we attack with this. That way we can check for a Lightning Bolt. Bye, Felicia. I assume I'm going to keep both of these. If they have a thing in the ice, they might take the push. Now this might just miss. But he left it there. Mana Leak, double Cryptic, yep. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see them, like, bounce this, draw a card. But that's, like, a pretty good situation for me, so I'm, like, fine with that. Blade me, baby. Polly. Let's get you that sword. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. That's probably a good call, Burgle. I'm gonna lead on this again. Interesting. So did they draw a bolt then? Or magmatic sinkhole? They wanted to try and draw a bolt. Raging Ravine is a heck of a creature land. It's really powerful. How many games till Azorius control? This is the first match with Jund, right? Yeah, it's our first match with Jund. I'm doing double modern every morning this week, so we'll be starting the standard portion about 11, sometime between 10:30 and 11:30 most mornings, depending on how the modern decks go. I'm ready for this standard format to rotate. And by rotate, I mean get a new set. Do I play around Magmatic Insight here? I don't think so. I think I want to just use all my mana and attack here. If they drew a second Magmatic Insight, they drew a second Magmatic Insight. Next turn, I can Thoughtseize before I attack if this lives. Yeah, and I feel like the core set has a lot of good cards in it too, just because it looks like there's a lot of cards they're printing in there as like safety valves for the new non-rotating format that's coming in the fall, which seems sweet. Is this gonna like target Cryptic? Bacchanation, thanks for the 9-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. And Peel, thanks for the 7 months. Counter target spell, return a permanent to its owner's hand. That's, yep. Alright, spin to win. Spin to win. Spin to win. And that was an excellent draw. Because my opponent elected to not let me look at their hand. So now I get to Fatal Push this, plus my Liliana, take the last card out of their hand. It was a thing in the ice. Gotcha. Scale of 1 to dead. What are we working with here, opponent? As someone who's really unfamiliar with Modern and Legacy, what do you mean by safety valves? I mean cards that are generally really powerful hate cards. So examples of what I refer to as safety valves that are being printed in the new in the core set 2020 would be cards like Leyline of Sanctity and Leyline of the Void. These are cards that, like, prevent really degenerate graveyard strategies from potentially taking over, or at least give you a tool to fight them. A card like Rule of Law, that only lets players cast 1 spell per turn, is a safety valve from degenerate combo decks that are trying to, like, take infinite spells in a turn and stuff like that. Just played our first match, so don't really have any opinions on it, Penna. Raging Ravine's great. That's an opinion I have. Frequently when we play Jund, it feels like the best card in red is Raging Ravine. Hey, Jerry. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for the entire year of support. Hope you're having a good one. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, this is fine. Not amazing, but fine. I guess the Goyf doesn't really go anywhere. Which is maybe bad. Oh, let's stand up for a bit. Shake the rust out. Deal. Hand Mammer, thank you for the 6 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Poor little Tarmogoyf. Yeah, the protection from cards are interesting. The blue one that counters a spell targeting you seems really sweet. It's also protection from red. Hey, Anaphylactic, welcome back. I am in fact still here. Not planning to go anywhere anytime soon. I intend to be here for as long as the internet will have me. I guess I should have technically grabbed Verdant Catacombs there, because it grabs both my basics that are left. Triples! Or Ripples? Boo, Ripples. Thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate it. We won the first match against Blue Moon. So beat our bad fair deck, beat a worse fair deck. The modern story. That was an unfortunate Thoughtseize. Let's take a peek at what's going on up here. I guess I take the Death Shadow. I think I just need to play my other Wrenn and kill this Jace. It's also, putting this in my graveyard also makes my Tarmogoyf bigger. So, I realized there's no indicator on these cards, which is the new one. If you right-click here, it says newly controlled. So this is the new one that I would like to keep. So you have to right-click on there to get the indicator of which one it is. My weekend was good. We took the kids to a movie yesterday and to, there's a trampoline park in our town that the kids really like. So we had a pass to go there. Not Toy Story. One of the theaters in town does $3 kids movies every Sunday morning. And they're mostly random older movies. So yesterday they were playing The Lorax we went to go see. Which is a fun kids movie with lots of songs, with lots of really depressing overtones about corporate greed and how it's gonna end the world as we know it. Oh, Dr. Seuss, why you have to keep it so real? It's my plan on the arena bit. I'm not sure what you mean, Anaphylactic. You mean like arena in general? I think Arena is awesome. It's really been a while since you've been here if you haven't heard us talk about Arena. We do majority of my content generally is Arena, but we just had a new set released for Modern, and we're at the end of a Standard set, so we're doing a little bit less right now. But Arena makes digital Magic good in a way I genuinely never thought it could be good. Arena is the future of both digital Magic and competitive Magic in general. Magic Online will exist for as long as it continues to print money for Wizards of the Coast, but it almost certainly does not have a long-term future. The newer movie is less is the newer one, the newer animated one. Yeah, Arena's definitely not perfect, like the Legion War Boss priority issue showed at the MC over the weekend. I think with the Stubborn Denial in their hand, we're probably dead here. Wrenn and Six notably feeling pretty lackluster this game. What's the issue with Arena? So, if the issue that actually was on display at the Mythic Championship this weekend, if you cast a Legion War Boss and your opponent doesn't have anything that could possibly give them priority, the Legion War Boss basically immediately moves to combat and makes a token without giving your opponent a chance to kill it during your main phase. Yeah, I agree. I feel like, and the more I think about this card, especially in a shell like this, the more I think it's probably just a bad Liliana the Last Hope. Just because, like, she kills everything that this kills while providing utility. When she doesn't actually kill the thing, she still makes it smaller. And she draws more meaningful cards with her down tick. Hey, DMS, thanks for the 1.5 years. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Maybe leaving all 4 bolts in this matchup is bad. I could see that. Maybe I should cut 2 of the bolts for a... I could see cutting 2 bolts for a K command to Liliana the Last Hope. Terminator asked, what are your thoughts on the mid-game seizure and how it was handled? I'm going to give everyone watching what should be considered a life lesson for people on the internet. As someone without medical training, and who is by no means a medical professional, I'm going to refrain from giving my opinion on a medical situation in which I am not well informed to give an educated opinion on. And just like that, if more people would say that, the world would be a much better place and children everywhere would be better protected because they would be vaccinated. Gotta give a hot, uninformed take. Yeah, I mean, that's what the internet wants, right? The internet subsists on hot, uninformed takes. So, Lily could run into a soft stub here if I attack with her. I think I'm okay with that. Like, the Stubborn Denial is gonna be a hard removal spell at some point anyways, so our hard counter at some point might as well let it be a hard counter now and use my mana for the turn. And like, especially with these two bolts in my hand right now, this like cracks them to 6, and now they like need a discard spell or a counter spell for these. Plus they need to beat like the top of my deck with Bob feeding me cards. Maybe the bolts are fine. Yeah, I don't know. I could see a world where I'm supposed to like have Last Hope in my deck instead of these bolts, but do you know Jeff's original stream was called Professor Jeff? That's not true, Burgle. Don't lie to the nice people. Yeah, Wobbers, it's real bad. And the worst part about that situation is like they're like directly negatively impacting children. Decamos, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I'm just sitting tight, and I'm just gonna let them attack me here. There's no reason. So the problem here is if I bolt them once and then I bolt them a second time, and they have Stubborn Denial, they're then able to have 10/10s, which I'm obligated to block. How much is it for me to make a deck list? I just played BTL Kiki at a tournament and had a blast. I was curious what a cord list would look like with the new cards. My build-arounds for Modern are 50. My build-arounds for Standard are 25. All right, and now we're going to end step double bolt. Were they dead the whole time? They might have been dead the whole time. Do I want to change how I'm sideboarded? I don't think so. Guy Fieri Ball, thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Do we even want... Yeah, I think so. Think of Leyline of the Void shuts off half their threats. Is Scavenging Ooze a card I want? It's probably fine. Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave out where sideboarded. Ebok, thanks for the 3rd of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, they have four Gourmet Anglers, and they have 3 to 4 Snapcaster Mages, and they probably have Kolaghan's commands. Yeah, they played Jace Fringe Prodigy game 1 as well. Gosh, for everybody at home taking notes on how to play Modern, Leyline of the Void in your opening 7. This is a really important skill, and if you can't have a Leyline in your opening 7, you should probably stick to Standard. This format is too skill intensive for you if you can't manage to have this card in your opening hand. Standard is also going to require you to have that skill. I don't know, there aren't really graveyard decks in Standard, right? And, like, the thing about a card like Leyline of Sanctity in Standard is you'll probably have Leyline of Sanctity in decks that can actually cast it. And in Standard, like, Leyline against Mono Red, like, casting that card on turn 4 is fine. When's your next weird gig? So, the owl costume was mostly when I was starting up. There's a pretty significant opportunity cost to taking long weekends off. So for example, I took Friday off last week. So I was off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm live again now this morning. My sub count dropped, I don't know, like 250, 300 points in 3 days off. So I tend to avoid taking more than 2 or 3 days off in a row if I can avoid it. Because that's kind of how Twitch works. The more time you take off, your things drop exponentially usually. It's mostly how Prime subs work, Wobblers. So a lot of the Prime subs, people rotate them off, and then, like, if you're not online, they, like, give their Prime sub to whoever they're watching at the time. So they have a Fatal Push in their hand, but something's going to get Fatal Pushed at some point, and my mana's tied up casting Bloodbraid Elves for the next 2 turns, so I might as well just play the Goyf into the Fatal Push here, so that way I can use my mana. Are y'all ready to spin to win? Spin to win. Wow, they're really not playing this Shadow out, huh? They generally, Grixis Shadow is usually cold to Leyline. Usually cold in that they can't take it off the table. Like, obviously they can win through it by just casting Death Shadows, but generally speaking, they can't take this card off the table. I think I attacked them to 7 here. Hey, thanks for the 4 months, Sip the Jack. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good Monday. All right, chat. Are you ready for the Wheel of Fortune? I'm actually going to play this untapped land here. No, I'm dumb. Their Stubborn Denial is on anyways, right? Yeah, I should have played the Blackcleave Cliffs. That's like the single worst card we could have hit in the deck there. I think I send the Bolt upstairs. And then just pass. Like, I can't double block this Death Shadow and kill it now. But if they attack, I'm hitting them for lethal on the backswing with the Raging Ravine plus the Bloodbraid Elves. I think I just passed. And again, playing this land was wrong. If I draw a 1-mana spell next turn, I'm going to be really sad because I can't activate Raging Ravine and cast a 1-mana spell. No blocks. Kill me with Temur Battle Rage. So they need double blockers or double removal here. I guess they could have Snapcaster Mage plus a removal spell. Scale 1 to dead. What are we working with here? We are definitely here to make them have it. Ew. All right. 2-0. When in doubt, jund them out, chat. When in doubt, jund them out. Yeah, so far, Wrenn and Six has been really mediocre. We haven't actually drawn cards with Seasoned Pyromancer yet, but the more I think about it, the more I kind of like that card. Getting to play a Bedlam Reveler style effect without having to likely it on your graveyard seems really awesome. I mean, like, people that are talking about, like, Jund might be a real Modern deck, etc., I like for you to take a moment and stop and think about the fact that I played against Blue Moon and Grixis Shadow, and, like, we're playing against a third fair deck in a row here. So, again, Modern's a format where even when there's something incredibly busted and good, like the Hagak deck, people don't immediately sell their $1,000 deck that they've been playing for the last 3 years and go buy the new hot thing, right? Like, most people are playing Magic for fun, and they have more fun playing their suboptimal mediocre fair deck than they do pivoting to whatever the new flavor of the week actual busted thing is. And playing these mediocre fair decks against another mediocre fair deck is good Magic. Like the last match we played against Grixis Shadow and like the Blue Moon match, those are both what I would consider genuinely good games of Magic. But like at the top tables of competitive Magic tournaments, competitive Modern tournaments, those aren't the norm, right? I often say casual Magic with the Modern ban list is wonderful, and I believe that. That's something that I think is very true. It's the chasing the Trons and the Bridgevines and the Dredges of the format that make Modern kind of suck competitively. Hey, Dunk Daddy, thanks for the third of a year. Welcome back. Oh, they just have Thoughtseize in the main deck of their Hagak deck. Okay, that's interesting. Thanks, Bob. Love you too. Love you too, Bobby. This Wrenn is really awful. I'm not a huge fan of Bob. I think especially with cards like Seasoned Pyromancer, there's like less reason than ever to play this card. Yeah, we might not get another turn here. Although, the reason why I didn't play Wrenn here is I get to hold up Lightning Bolt, and bolting my own Bob to exile their bridges might prevent them from comboing us if their hand is good. So, Stoneforge Mystic, when Modern was initially created, they essentially banned every card from the sets that were legal in Modern that had been considered potentially too good in Standard or Extended. So cards like Stoneforge Mystic were banned not because of things they did in Modern, but because of sins they had committed in previous formats. And basically, that's very silly and short-sighted and narrow-minded in my opinion, because the power level of Magic cards, we frequently say here, is contextual to the format in which they're being played, right? So, a card being too good in Standard a decade ago or Extended a decade and a half ago, like, that doesn't mean it's going to be too good in Modern today. And Wizards is basically just very conservative with how they manage the ban list for the most part. So if something's on there, they just don't want to take it off. And we're just super done at this point. 0%. You're gonna hear a lot the same kind of talk you hear around Stoneforge Mystic in Modern. You're gonna hear a lot of the same bad takes and nonsense from people regarding Kaladesh in the new format. There's going to be a lot of people that are not going to be able to wrap their tiny little brains around the fact that just because cards were too good in Standard doesn't mean they're automatically going to be too good in this new format. And people, it just amazes me how people constantly forget that we have a hard time predicting what's going to be good in Standard, much less try and predict what's going to be good in this brand new format that's going to have twice as many sets potentially as a Standard format. Like, there's so many variables in Magic that we just can't know is the answer until we get a lot of bit of practice in and get a lot of data to farm meaningful conclusions from. So, is your deck built to optimize Wrenn? So the question you have to ask yourself is playing these clunky, awkward cards to optimize Wrenn worthwhile? And I would estimate that it's probably not. The types of cards you need to play to optimize Wrenn kind of suck in Modern. And playing bad cards to make another card that's also not very good better generally isn't good gameplay. I agree with you. I'm a little afraid of the Marvel deck. So think about what the Marvel deck did in Standard, and then realize that none of the Eldrazi Titans are likely to exist in the new format. So I agree, I would be worried about the Marvel in the new format if Ulamog and Emrakul are around. But if Ulamog and Emrakul aren't around, I'm not really worried about it. I mean, fetches let Wrenn generate value, but drawing extra lands isn't really a meaningful bonus a lot of the time. We've not gotten a definitive start point yet. We are supposed to be getting a definitive start point with the M20 release announcement, they said. So we should know in a few weeks at most. Sure, Bad Tinker. I agree that what they did when they started Modern was uncharted territory. But they've had have had ample opportunity to reevaluate that. If you're going to play Red Phoenix, would you play Seasoned Pyromancer over Reveler? I don't know about over Reveler, but you could probably play less than 4 Revelers, because drawing too many Revelers is often awkward. Probably play both. The next ban list announcement is July 8th, and generally it doesn't take effect until the new set releases. I don't think Discard Spell into Scavenging Ooze is fast enough in this matchup most of the time, especially when I can't cast that Scavenging Ooze on 2. So with 4 Leyline of the Voids in my deck, I think we play Magic the Mulliganing and look for a hate card. Okie doke. Land. Nature's Claim. Jason O'Findy, thank you for the 8-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. And these are the types of games in Modern. When I was talking about earlier, the last 2 matches were what I would consider really good games of Magic. These games of Magic just kind of suck. I lost the first game automatically because my cards just didn't interact well with my opponent's cards because of the type of deck they're playing. And these games, if I win, I'm going to win because my card is effectively not making my opponent play Magic. So regardless of who wins this matchup, it feels like nothing meaningful was really played. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic is sweet. My first Legacy deck, the first deck I top-8'd a Legacy Open with was Black-White Stoneblade. Hey, look at that. My opponent doesn't know we don't have a second land. And again, like, I won that match, but it's so similar to Nexus of Fate and Standard, right? Like, even though I won that match of Magic, I, like, don't feel happy. I feel kind of like I wasted my time and am annoyed. And I feel like, from a game design perspective, anytime someone is winning your game and they don't feel good or happy about it, you probably should reassess, like, what's going on in that game and why. So that's not even true, Dunk Daddy. So again, like, that shows a fundamental misunderstanding of what actually happened. Golgari Grave Troll was unbanned, and Golgari Grave Troll is not what broke Dredge. You know what broke Dredge? What broke Dredge was the cards that were printed months after Grave Troll was unbanned. They unbanned Grave Troll, and then they printed Cathartic Reunion and Prized Amalgam, and then eventually Creeping Chill. Although Creeping Chill wasn't there when we banned, but we had Amalgam and Cathartic Reunion and Insolent Neonate printed. So we didn't just unban Grave Troll, and Grave Troll was too good when they unbanned it. Grave Troll was fine when they unbanned it. The problem was they went and printed a bunch of other messed up cards that pushed Dredge over the top. And you could probably argue that with Creeping Chill, Dredge is still over the top. They just banned Grave Troll to, like, save some face. But, like, things like that, like people that talk about why Splinter Twin needs to be banned that weren't playing when Splinter Twin was there, like, you don't remember your history. Like, Splinter Twin wasn't this omnipresent deck that always killed on turn 4. That's a perversion of the truth. It wasn't this deck that, like, was dominating top 8s. Those are some cards. Those are some cards. Huh. I'm gonna take a mana creature. Let's draw a removal spell and kill the bird. Pusher Bolt, please. Magic's a skill game, and the better player always wins. Rats. I think even with them drawing this, killing their mana creatures aggressively is appropriate here. I think even with this draw, I like my play. It's gonna be like 3 mana Teferi, bounce my Ice Fang. Hey, Dingo, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Happy Monday. Reflector Mage, yikes. Whoop. I'm looking forward to WotC fixing the ban list in 2 weeks by banning Rest in Peace and Leyline of the Void. I've been playing a lot of Underlord since you streamed it, and it's lots of fun. Mages are OP. I agree, the mages are real good. My last 2 wins have been 6 mage comps. I unfortunately have to take Jake to something this evening, so I'm not going to be able to do Underlords after my Magic stream today. Wow! Wow, what a tilt! What a tilt! I was like, what couldn't we cast? What a tilt. I do plan to do a couple more Underlord streams later this week, though. Probably gonna do some post-Magic Underlords a couple of times. Do you believe this card was banned in Modern? That's such a bad joke. It's such a bad joke that this card was banned. I don't have double black because my mana sucks because we're playing a 3-color deck for some reason. Honestly, I think it's awful that this card is legal, because this card was banned in Standard, and we banned Stoneforge Mystic in Modern because it was banned in Standard. So it seems like some nonsense that this card's legal in Modern after it was banned in Standard, but Stoneforge isn't. That's what I think. I think we're probably dead here because I'm choked on black mana. Wild Nakata was banned, right? Not Curdate? Just to make sure we have the timelines correct. So here's the thing, Winmagus. Whenever people talk about bans not being a good idea because they hurt people's specific decks, I want to take Splinter Twin as a great example. So Splinter Twin was a deck that cost a non-zero amount of money, right? They banned Splinter Twin. The remaining value of the cards in the Splinter Twin deck was still a very reasonable amount after they banned Splinter Twin. Snapcaster Mages, Scalding Tarns, the other rares in that deck are still worth plenty of money. So, like, saying we can't ban things because it impacts people's bottom line too much, I think is kind of a cop-out and some hot nonsense. Our opponent looks to be playing Kiki Chord with Ice Fang Cuddle. Or Evo Kiki. Also, as someone who frequently talks about Magic Finance stuff on this channel, here's Jeff's Magic Finance advice of the day. If all of the sudden your paper Magic cards were suddenly worth $0, that probably means you have money spent on paper. If all of your paper Magic cards suddenly being worth $0 would cause you financial distress, that probably means you're spending money on Magic that you shouldn't be spending on Magic as a responsible adult. And that's probably not something some people want to hear. That's probably not something WotC wants to be telling people, right? Like, don't spend money you shouldn't be spending on. Like, this should be your hobby money, your extra money. Shouldn't be the money you need to eat. Shouldn't be the money you need to pay your mortgage off someday or your student loans. All right, Lightning Bolt means we're not dead yet. So I get to pick up Bloodbraid Elf and shock this, then I get to bolt it to kill it. I'm glad I live in a country where education is free. Yep. They're playing Force of Negation. All right, we're dead. For people not familiar with my opponent's archetype, Prime Speaker Vanifear plus Noble Hierarch, Prime Speaker plus any one drop leads to them combo killing us. Well, I suppose I'd already killed 2 Restos. Maybe they don't have a third. I don't know. Probably dead, though. Definitely want Chandra as an extra removal spell here. I made and played JAC at my FNM. Absolutely loved the deck. I accidentally... So one thing that I always like to clarify, Makamook, you can't accidentally cheat in Magic the Gathering. So if you made a gameplay error, that happens. Magic's complicated, especially in paper with a deck like JAC. But you don't cheat by mistake. That's not how Magic works. Yeah, cheating requires intent. What's the combo? They get Kiki Jiki plus Restoration Angel, which makes infinite Kiki Jikis. If you haven't seen my opponent's archetype before and you're interested in potentially seeing it play out, you can find lots of videos of it on my website and my YouTube channel. Maybe I'll leave one of these in. I don't really have extra cards for creature matchups in my sideboard. Like, these Plague Engineers aren't particularly good here. They have a lot of different creature types. In regards to embedding videos on pages to boost Twitch numbers, do you think if a person didn't request the stream is being counted towards a number? To me, it's the same as if their computer was hijacked to act as a bot. I don't know. That sounds a little extreme. If you don't want autoplay... If you don't want autoplay video ads, you should block ads on your computer. It's really that simple. I do think it's awkward that Twitch aggressively bans people for view botting and then like has this asterisk, this is legal view botting over here that you can pay us money to do. Like that seems like a weird stance to take. But Twitch also just has, like, a lot of just generic policy things that, like, they do that are, like not enforcing their music guidelines and stuff like that. I do take build-around submissions for Modern, however, they are more money. So, the minimum donation for a Modern build-around is 50. Because the minimum donation for just a regular Modern deck is 25. How does viewbotting scam them out of money? Do viewbots actually, like, watch ads and take money from advertisers? If so, I guess that makes sense. That's an interesting thought, Squid Squad. We could potentially name one of their combo cards, prevent them from comboing. Sure, I understand that Twitch front loads ads. I just wasn't certain that the way a typical viewbot works watches those ads or counts as impressions for those ads. If that... I mean, we're kind of talking about embedded viewers. Like, embedded viewers and viewbots are, like, very closely related to each other, right? Oh, you know, maybe I should. Inquisition here? Are they conceding? It's a concession lockup? What's going on? It's a concession lockup. All right. That's always the moto fun. Like, what's actually happened here? Nah, I'm just going to submit. So the Plague Engineer to try and name Fairy to keep them from comboing. I think if they have active Vanifier, they're probably going to bury us even without their combo. So it doesn't seem worth it. Tree B, thank you for re-upping your Prime support for the second month. Welcome back. And Freddy, thank you for the 14 months. Thanks for keeping me around. Seems really good. It's Inquisition on 1. Let's go Inquisition on 1. Tapped land, bolt something on 2. So we'll grab a Blood Crypt here. Double Voice of Resurgence. No white mana. Nice mana base. Well, we're definitely taking that. Turn one Steam Vents, double voice in hand. Yep, opponent. I've been there. I've been where you've been. I've stood in your shoes. Legit Reaper, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I wonder if this is picking back up Voice or Crater Maker. Crater Maker, they can guaranteed cast. But Voice a little bit better card in the matchup. Inquisition is a great draw. Are we having fun yet? Always a pleasure to watch your streams. Thanks for the content. Thanks for the 2 months, Unsung. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome back. Yeah, Saffron Olive had posted some interesting metrics that, like, compared to, like, try and guesstimate how many, like, organic viewers there were watching the event over the weekend. And it seemed like the actual organic viewer count was pretty high, if his estimations were correct. Wow, that's a beating. That's unfortunate. Now I lose my Liliana. Thank you, Mancer. Thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So I think I'm going to upkeep Kolaghan's command, shock the Cratermancer, make them discard a card. Or if they fetch, I'll do it in response to the fetch. So in response to the fetch, we're going to make you discard and shock this. Because this way, if their last card's a Restoration Angel, we kill them before they have 4 mana for it. We just had another land. That's fine. Still pretty far ahead here. We hit a... They've got nothing in hand. If we hit a land here, we get to play this Bloodbraid Elf, and I've got double removal spell. So... pretty solidly ahead at the moment. Having played this matchup from the Vanafear side, it's not impossible, but I definitely think the Jund deck's ahead. You're fine, Reaper. Thanks for doing it when you remembered. I think I want to burn the bolt here. We have a third voice. Aldemari's Call, sure. Who's the lucky winner? They already played one Eternal Witness. And they couldn't cast that this turn regardless. Renegade Rallier, sure. Okay, yeah, and this gets back voice. Okay, this is the type of sequence my opponent needed to get back into this game. They can even get back Ice Fang and draw a card. Seems good. Oh, Crater Maker to kill the Scooge. That makes sense. Untapped land, please. See, you just gotta ask nicely, chat. How about my 2-for-1? Spin to win. Spin to win. Yep. Cade's World! Thank you for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Oh, that was a mistake on my part, huh? I could have played Wrenn plus Wrenn, drawn my fetch, and then I've also Fatal Push this. Yeah, that's actually a pretty big mistake. Because I could have Wrenn in play and have cleared out this Renegade Rallier. Although I guess it's better. I guess it saves my Fatal Push for another Prime Speaker here. have all of our colors here. And they're forced to chump block, or they're forced to trade or die. It's another concession lockup. That put us to 3-0 or 3-1? That puts us to 4-0. Easy. Easy game, easy life. When in doubt, chat, jund them out. Hey, Kyle, thank you for the 12 months of support. It's a mod indeed. Thanks for keeping me around. Wrenn and Six has actually been pretty mediocre in our game so far. It was like fine in that last one, but overall been a pretty underwhelming for me in this league. Seasoned Pyromancer, Raging Ravine, Lightning Bolt have all been good. Yeah, I think I still prefer green-black on average. Like, presently, we have 748 chatters and 1053 viewers, making the ratio 71. So, the problem with that comparison, 177, is that I don't think it's an unfair assumption to think that a individual streamer has a higher percentage of chatters to viewers. And I also think, especially my stream being sub-only chat, increases that even further. I would believe that SO had a math error, like we've all been there. The problem is ulting the Wrenn takes a really long time. Like, an absurdly long time. And you're not doing anything meaningful with him while you're doing that. Every time a Judd deck 5-0s, a Reed Duke gets its wigs. So what was the actual calculation? Instead of just telling me he did it wrong, can you tell me what the actual number is? You don't have access to Magic Online or paper testing. I'd highly recommend checking out Cockatrice. Cockatrice is the tool Matt and I used for testing paper tournaments when we were playing a lot of paper Magic. So I think I want to bolt this as opposed to Fatal Pushing it, because Fatal Push can kill Urza and Urza's Construct token. Yeah, they're a Thopter Foundry deck. Hey, look. Our Leyline of the Void punched the clock and went to work in this league. Yeah, we have a lot of good tools to interact in this matchup for sure. CSGO yesterday had 140k in chat for 200k viewers. That one notably was not a sub-only chat though, right? Or was it? I mean, I don't... What do you want me to say, Geoff? Like, the answer... If your answer is I can't practice, like, what do you expect me to tell you to do? Other than find a way to practice? There's no... If there's one takeaway I can give you in Magic the Gathering, there's no substitute for hard work and practice. Gotta put in the time. They named Liliana the Veil. Look at that. We didn't even draw it. God bless. Alright, well, taking Sword of the Meek doesn't accomplish a whole lot. We're going to leave this fetch land uncracked, so that way we can crack it to kill this Urza next turn. Yeah, you can use Cockatrice to play against yourself, that's true. Especially in new standard formats. When I worked as a systems analyst, There were definitely days where I had nothing going on, where it was literally just like one tapped out browser page on one window, another tapped out browser page on another window, and I played 2 decks against myself. Happy Monday, Twin. Alright, so their hand is Dark Slick Shores and an island right now. Bobby! Yeah, Cockatrice is a great tool. Especially if you have another person who, like, you know is a good Magic player. You can sit there over VoIP and play games very quickly. The Dorox, thank you for the 8-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, no blocks. Come on. Red Rover, let the construct come over. Ready! Thank you for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. One of your finest Bloodbraid Elves, please. Alright, what do you got over there? Big fat nothing, huh? Down to 3. I have a way to clear out this construct. I'm not going to kill the construct inside of combat in case they draw a way to ensnaring bridge me for the turn. They do not know about this Abrupt Decay, so... Another Urza. That's kind of unfortunate. This is going to let them cast the top card of their deck. Some good quality RNG there. I'm going to cast this Abrupt Decay now, because if I draw a Bloodbraid Elf, I want to be able to cast it, and I do want to get this construct out of the way. And then they're obligated to block this Tarmogoyf. Now, the scary thing here is I've played a Decay and a Trophy now. So, like, if my opponent rips a bridge, I don't have a good way out under that. If they find a Thopter Foundry, we're also in trouble there. So they have good draws here, even though they are at 1. All right, did you find something to get you out of this, or are we going to the next one? All right, on to the next one. Leyline of the Void sounds excellent. Collector Ouphe is great. Even Plague Engineer is kind of okay here, huh? How do we feel about trimming my Planeswalkers? Wrenn and Six definitely doesn't seem very good. Unearth doesn't seem fantastic. I think I want to just get rid of these. We are currently 4-0 and we're up a game in the 3rd match. I have Ancient Grudge on my board too. God bless. Do I just cut lightning bolts? Chandra seems fine too. She draws cards. What do we think of this? I think I like this. Trim a Bob. Yeah, that's probably not bad advice. They don't pressure my health total that much, but yeah. Yeah, Bob plus Leyline is not fantastic. We'll be doing 2 more Modern tomorrow morning, Anna, I promise. I need to be done by 3 o'clock today, so at the absolute latest, so I need to make sure we get enough time for Standard. Both the Modern Leagues we had were solid runs. Sand looks great. Doesn't have a Leyline in it. They're a Thopter Sword deck, Niv. And with Urza plus Thopter Sword goes infinite. Never fails. Never not card number 8. Huh? I think I just take Goblin Engineer here. They bottomed a card here, so they might just brick off. We're undefeated and up a game in the 5th match. Punchworthy. So, Battle at the Bridge. Maybe I'm supposed to take the Battle at the Bridge because it kills Bob. Oh, Magic. You're such a pain of a game. Maybe I'm supposed to play the tapped land there rather than Bob, since I know they have the Battle at the Bridge. Goyf is a good draw. Hopefully we run off a couple of lands here. I think I just cast Leyline, huh? I'm doing it pre-combat, because if they negate this, it makes my Tarmogoyf bigger. It's fine. This is the high before we're ready to 10 Nexus decks at Arena. Yep, that's been my experience so far. Do I just like Bloodbraid and try and slam the door here? I think I just want to slam the door, especially with this Raging Ravine in play too. One of their 3 cards right now is Spine of Isha. Pretty clunky. I have K Command to kill a bridge if they find one. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was gonna stream last night. I was gonna do some Arena and then some Underlords, and after Nexus won the Mythic Championship, I was like, nah, I'm not doing extra after that happened. Just if we play a lot of Nexus, it might be a short standard stream day. Deal. Destroy you, shock you. Put my 2 cents. We're definitely doing more Underlords this week. Underlords has been a gas. Played a lot of that over the weekend. It runs really well on my Lenovo Yoga tablet, which is nice. Arena chugs on that, so I haven't been able to play it on there, but Dota Underlord's a little bit lighter than Arena. All right. Well, we hit the Hawaii 5-0. Wait, I'm confused. I thought, does anybody understand Moto? I thought the format points replaced the qualifier points. I thought these replaced. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not gonna. I don't care. I don't really play in those things, so I guess I don't. That being said, thoughts on the deck even after playing it to the 5-0 finish there. I felt like the sideboard was like 1 or 2 cards light for the creature matchups. I think these Plague Engineers might just be better as like, look at that sweet Moto altar. Can we pull this over? Look at this sweet altar art, huh? Isn't it beautiful? Big T, thank you for the brand new Prime Sport. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I feel like these Plague Engineers I might replace with some other removal spells. I also think these Wrenn and Sixes were like pretty mediocre in the games we played. Seasoned Pyromancer felt like it was pretty reasonable when we were playing, so I might try a 3rd copy of that just to like give myself more of a chance to draw it. And then if I felt like I wanted more things to kill small creatures, I'd probably play a 2nd Last Hope, because Last Hope is a card I've been really happy with in general, but this card left a bit to be desired. As far as like this versus green-black, I think as a personal preference, I just prefer the cleaner mana that takes less damage to itself that green-black provides, but casting Bloodbraid Elf is certainly fun. So I think if you are someone who loves casting Bloodbraid Elf, this certainly seems like a very reasonable archetype for doing so, and I would explore playing more of this card. How is it possible that like you render 1 copy of the card perfectly fine, but the 2nd copy gets and these aren't even the same. They're not even the same bug. They're not even the same bug. How just I want to take a picture of them next to each other, I think. Maybe I take a picture of them next to each other with the version that's fine right next to it. Just Moto things. Thanks, Rate. It'll get added to the deck queue tonight after I'm done streaming. Yeah, it's in. I posted it in Magic General in Discord.